Hey guys, welcome to another drum tutorial. My name is Duke and today we have got Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. Meg White on drums. It gets a lot of flack, Meg White, for drum beats. They are generally quite simple, great for beginners. One thing I will say about Meg White, and for all the haters out there, how would you ever improve on a drum beat like Seven Nation Army? It's fantastic. As always, there's going to be a free drum transcription at dukegrooves.com. You'll find a link in the description. Totally free to download. And you'll also find chapter markers in there so you can fast forward to the bit you want if necessary. So without further ado, let's get cracking. We're going to go straight into verse 1 on this one. No real intro, but we have got 4 bars of rest to begin with. The first part of this beat, which is going to be a developmental beat, so we're going to gradually add little bits to it. We've got kick, we've got your hi-hat, and we've got the floor tom. Okay? And we're going to play quarter notes throughout this verse. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Meg White, generally speaking from what I've seen, favours heel down on her pedals. With the kick drum, you have to put more effort into it if you want to do it, although it doesn't make a lot of difference as far as the song sounds. You'll get more power if you play heel up. On the hi-hat, however, when you play heel down, you get this kind of splash going on, which is what she's got going on in the track. Live, she doesn't always do this, but as a challenge, I would say try and play it like this, where you've got the hi-hat splashing. Not that, we're going to have. So, verse 1, bar 5, we're going to kick in. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bow, 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 down, down, down. At bar 17, we're going to add a snare on the 2 and 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The other 3 limbs are still doing exactly the same thing. And we're going to do that for 2 lines or 8 bars. At 47 seconds, we're going to get to bridge number 1. And we're going to change things up slightly. The hi-hat's still going to remain on the quarter notes. And we're going to hit a crash on beat 1. Or 2 crashes if you got it. And we're going to play 2, 3, 4. So we're going to add the rack tom. We're going to keep the floor tom going as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which brings us into our chorus. At 51 seconds, we're going to have one of the more basic beats known to drummers on a crash cymbal with your hi-hat carrying on that quarter note pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's quarter notes with the crash like we were doing on the floor tom, and the kick drum is going to alternate 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi-hats under each of those. She may actually favour closing on this one. It's hard to tell in the tracks when you've got the crashes washing over. Trying to hear that becomes very difficult. But don't put too much thought into it. As long as that hi-hat's ticking away underneath, that's absolutely fine. When we get to the 3rd bar, we've got quarter note triplets going on. Now, if you're watching this tutorial, I'm going to assume you're at a fairly beginner standard. So learning this part fashion will always be the quickest way to learn this, but I'm going to very quickly go through the counting idea of this as well, because it's important to learn that so that you can understand these kind of things in the future. So part fashion, we've got bam, 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 bam. So following the guitar riff, you got 1, 2, bum, bum, bum. 3 sets in there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then back into your normal drum beat. So hi-hat's going to follow each and every one of those before you go in. It basically just speeds up very slightly. Okay. Right, now the counting side of things. What we've got here, like I said before, is quarter note triplets. Usually, in this song at least, we are counting quarter notes and 8th notes. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, which would subdivide into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now what we're doing in this bar is we're subdividing into triplets. So rather than just having 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, we're dividing that quarter note in sets of 3 instead, which would be like a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. you'll hear some people count this as 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now, that's eighth note triplets. We want quarter note triplets. So when we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we want to half the amount we're doing here to bring it back into quarter notes. So if I just do this and take out my left hand, I'll get 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Relating this back to the music, on that quarter note pulse, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and from beat 3, we're going to be playing those quarter notes as 3 and 4 and. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that's how you're going to be counting it. Like I say, if you're looking for a quick fix on this song and you just want to learn it and get playing, power to you, go for it. Just go 1, 2, bam, 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 da, 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 and play through it. If you want to go a little bit further and actually learn the theory behind it, I promise you it will pay off in the future. Back to that bridge for the ending of the chorus. 1. We're going to go for verse 2 exactly the same as verse 1. We're going to start off with this idea here, and then we're going to add the snare drum in at bar 49. We're going to go all the way through on this until we get to bridge 2 at 1 minute 58. Exactly the same as bridge 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And then we're into another chorus. Chorus 2 is twice as long as chorus 1. It just has a repeat of the whole thing. Everything's exactly the same. Doing the exact same thing again. Get to bar 3. And we're going to finish with the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which brings us into verse 3. Nothing new here. Verse 3 is going to do exactly the same thing again. We're going to have the 4 bars of rest. We're going to kick in at bar 85 with our standard beat. And then we're going to add our snare drums in at bar 97. We're then going to have our bridge at 3 minutes 24, same as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then a final chorus, which is the same size as chorus 1, half the length of chorus 2 at 3 minutes 28. Exactly the same. We're going to finish this time just on the 1 at bar 115. We're going to have 2 bars rest and like kind of a slight pause as it sort of slows down, builds a bit of suspense, and one final crash, hi-hat and kick. And that's the end of the tune. This song is really good for beginners in terms of you've only got 3 ideas in the track. Really good for your timekeeping, just to make sure you can play along with songs without the complexity of like crazy notes and all the rest of it. Like I said before, I highly recommend learning the whole quarter note triplet thing, but don't get too bogged down on it if it's taking you a while. It will come in time when you start to learn more about drums. And that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any comments or questions, drop them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time, see you later.